Artificial intelligence, it's gone from, hey, everybody's talking about it every minute, every day, to, hey, lots of smart people are using this to build their business. Let's talk about how you can use it to build your business. I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to do a demo here. All right. So here we go. Let's say that I wanted to do an article or a video on how to create headlines for your blog posts and videos. So what I've done is I called up ChatGPT4, and you can do this with Jasper. You can do this with a number of other tools. I'm just going to do it with this one. Okay. All right. So what I always start with when I'm doing this kind of thing is I'm looking for possible hooks. So I said, give me 10 possible hooks for a marketing-oriented article on how to create headlines for your blog posts and videos. All right. So then I let it run. Here's what it did. It gave me back a bunch of them. So many of these are, hey, not all that interesting. This one's interesting, the secret formula. And this one is interesting, headline hacks, insider secrets to writing blog posts and video titles that leave your audience craving more. All right. So I've got a couple of hooks here that are interesting. Problem is, the headlines are too long for an article about headlines. So the next step I did is I came down here and I said, shorten this headline. Headline hacks, insider secrets. Gave me back this. Headline hacks, craft titles that will keep your audience wanting more. Okay, that's okay, except you can do these, you can do this right here. Cut that part, the part that's in blue. Headline hacks that keep your audience wanting more. All right, now it's getting shortened down to this. But while I was at this, I decided to just check this one. Discover the secret formula to creating irresistible headlines. I'm going to talk slower. Discover the secret formula to crafting irresistible headlines that skyrocket your blog and video engagement. All right, so I said shorten this headline. Came back with secret formula, craft headlines to skyrocket blog and video engagement. Not getting there with this. I probably could ask them to redo this 4 or 5 times and probably could get there. But then I just went back to this headline hacks, and I did this less because I like where we ended up with this one. So headline hacks that keep your audience wanting more. Okay. So cutting the craft titles out of that. But I decided, let's try it one more time. Just actually, part of it was to show you this. So what I did here is I said, give me 5 alternate versions of this headline. And remember, it's remembering everything above it in this conversation. So I could have done a little bit more, saying this is for small business owners that are trying to do an online business, those kinds of things. I could have put all that in there. Sometimes I just leave it out because I feel like it's going to get there anyway with the things that I'm giving it. If I was getting really unsatisfactory results, I would have clamped it down more, but this time I left it a little broader, okay? So it gives me 5 more different alternate versions of the headlines. I don't like any of them all that much, and so I'm going to stick with the one that I like, okay? So now I said, let's do this. Let's write an outline for a 1,500-word article titled Headline Hacks That Leave Your Audience Wanting More for Small Business Online Marketers. See how I put that in here? I didn't need it for the headline. I just needed it when I'm getting into the article. Looking to increase traffic and engagement on their blog posts and videos. All right, so here it goes. It goes off and gives me this. So I love how ChatGPT thinks that everything needs an introduction. Word of advice, just leave the introductions out. You'll usually be better. Okay, now we're going to do understanding the psychology of effective headlines. Okay, I'm still not too excited. Now we're getting to this. Crafting them. Okay. Key elements, numbers and listicles, powerful adjectives, actionable language. Got to bring in SEO. So this is good. This little section right through here is good. And by the way, what I oftentimes do when I'm using a service like this is that I will take several pieces. I rarely just take one thing and dump it all in and then go work from there. I'll take this piece and I'll take that piece. So the power of AI is not that it goes and writes stuff for you. The power of AI is that it goes off and gives you ideas. It gives you powerful elements that you can use, and you pick pick and choose the best stuff from there, because the problem of AI is that everything sounds sort of generic and boring. It's like you lose all your personality. You lose your ability to put your voice in it if you just copy and paste the article that they write. That's the reason why I rarely copy and paste. I take this little section, I then pull it into my language. I take this little section, I then look at it in a different way. And by the time I'm done with it, what ends up happening is that AI has enabled me to create a better piece of content that I would have created myself. Then I go write that article. That makes sense? This is what I found. So I know everyone's trying to get the cut and paste. Hey, let me be able to produce 1,000 articles in a week. You start doing that, you're going to start hurting yourself. What I'm after is I'm after using the power of the incredible programming that's here to create better articles that really, really work for my audience. That's why why I pick and choose what I cut and paste. All right, let's go back. Okay, continuing down. So right now we're working on this outline for the 1,500 word article. We've identified that this little section is good. Now, creating irresistible headlines for videos. Okay, we're going to go and look at algorithms, numbers and brackets, urgency, audience, adapting it for different audiences. So there is definitely something here that ought to go into that. All right, tools, headline generators, A/B testing, and analytics. Okay, that definitely ought to be in an article on this subject. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. Isn't it interesting? The common mistake is clickbait and misleading headlines. And let's go all the way up. Several of these are purely clickbait. So they're identifying the problem of the result that they gave me, why I didn't like most of them. Okay. Overused cliches and buzzwords. So this ought to go in there too. Okay. Conclusion, probably don't need to put the conclusion in the way I did it. All right. Now I said, okay, this is a generic article. This is the article that, hey, ChatGPT would write, that if I hired a writer, paid him a little money to go write an article, this is the article he's going to write. This is not the article that I would ever write. It's too generic. It's too boring. It's too similar. And so now what I did is I said, okay, let's do this. Hey, this is an article about headline hacks. So give me 10 specific hacks that I can use in this article, including specific tools someone can use to increase the power of their headline. All right, let's see what they did. Leverage power words, incorporate numbers and listicles, be clear and concise, focus on the target audience, use question-based headlines, implement the how-to formula, utilize this tool, A/B test your headlines, harness the power of curiosity gap, optimize the headlines for SEO. Now we're getting somewhere, okay? So what we could do is I'm going to throw out like 4 of these because they're, just implement the how-to formula. It's like, well, duh. Okay. And so I'm going to throw out a number of those. And so what I'm going to do when I create this article is that I'm going to use some of this stuff and some of this stuff and the common mistakes. But the core of the article is going to be hacks. And I'm probably going to put 6 hacks. I'll probably add 3 or 4 of my own in there. But here's the problem. I asked, it didn't deliver. I said, including specific tools, plural, someone you can use to increase the power of their headlines. All right, it didn't give me that. All right, so give me 5 more tools people can use to test and improve their headlines. It gives me 5 tools. I know 3 of these already. I'll go check the other ones. So we've got the headline analyzer, the emotional marketing value headline analyzer. And so you go down. And so we've got 5 specific tools there. Now, here's what I do. I take the concepts that are here. Okay. You got to have this little section that talks about what makes a great headline. I got to have some mistakes on headlines. And then I'm going to give them specific hacks. And then I'm going to give them specific tools they can use to do that. Now I've got a 1,500, 2,500 word article that is an incredibly powerful article, pieced together from the outputs that this tool gave me. Can you see what we're doing here? And can you see the power of doing this? So this is not going to be something where you're going to turn out 1,000 articles a week. What this is going to do is notice what have we spent here? We've spent about 4 or 5 minutes doing this. If you wait for ChatGPT to write it, it's probably 10 minutes total in all this and my thinking about what to ask next. But that 10 minutes creates a better article than I would have just out of the top of my head. That right there is the power of using AI, is that you are adding things you would not have gotten to otherwise, screening it through the best AI tool in the world, your own brain, which is not artificial. It should hopefully be real live intelligence, and using that to turn out incredibly intelligent, powerful articles. Have you been using it this way? You should be. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.